Personal injuries lawyer Howard Yegendorf joins us now. There was a story in the news today about a young motorcyclist who got injured out in the East End. You see this kind of thing all the time. How common is it for people to find themselves in really desperate situations after a motorcycle accident?
Well, unfortunately, from my perspective as a personal injury lawyer, I've seen many, many motorcycle accidents. And stating the obvious, you're not as well protected as a motorcyclist as driving a car. So some of the injuries that I've seen in motorcycle accidents are very, very serious, oftentimes catastrophic. And it really, should be on the rider to take all kinds of safety precautions. And in that regard, there's safety courses that are available by for example, the Ottawa Safety Council, a number of organizations. Safety is key because I can tell you, from the vast majority of cases where I've seen somebody get hurt in a motorcycle accident, the driver of the car or the truck is at fault in the vast majority of cases. And invariably, that driver says, I never saw him. Because motorcyclists are just not visible to a lot of people, particularly early in the season, April, May, where you haven't seen motorcycles for a number of months during the winter. So motorcycle riders have to think about visibility. They actually have to think about things like lane positioning, putting yourself in the lane in the most visible spot. A driver of a car never even thinks about that.
Even the color of the clothing you wear?
Sure, the color of the clothing is important. I see more over the last few years, high visibility clothing and white or yellow helmets. It's a slow cultural shift in that regard. Unfortunately, it's slow because there's kind of an element of cool in the motorcycle community, people wearing black clothes, black helmets, just not as visible, but it's starting to change a little bit.
Before we run out of time, let's talk about insurance. What kind of insurance do people have to be aware of that they should have?
Well, for motorcyclists, there's two, or for all drivers, but particularly for motorcyclists, there's two types of insurance that come into play. If the other party's at fault, then it's the other party's third-party liability insurance. And there's also the statutory accident benefits from your own insurer. So for third-party liability, you don't want to get yourself in a position where the other driver is considered underinsured. So as an example, if you and I have an accident, you're the at-fault driver of the car. I've been injured as a motorcyclist. There's serious injuries, and I have a $2 million claim against you for injuries, loss of income, cost of future care, as an example. You only have $1 million of insurance. So where do I get my second $1 million? Well, if I have $2 million of insurance, then I can go after my own insurance company for that other $1 million. So if you're riding a motorcycle, at the very least, you should have $2 million of primary insurance. In terms of statutory accident benefits, your own insurance, unfortunately, on June 1st of this year, that coverage was gutted by the provincial government. It's terrible legislation, but it is what it is. Prior to January the 1st, you had available to you a maximum of $1 million of medical rehabilitation benefits coverage, plus $1 million of attendant care coverage, so for a maximum of $2 million together. On June the 1st, they combined that. So all those benefits are for a combined maximum of $1 million now. Now you can, through optional benefits, restore that coverage to $2 million, and it probably wouldn't cost, depending on the rider, people are rated differently, probably wouldn't cost much more than $50 a year. If you're riding a motorcycle, listen, you don't want to ride scared, but you want to ride prepared, and you should definitely get that optional benefit to restore the $2 million of coverage.
You're speaking to us as a lawyer, but you're also speaking to us as a guy, and if we can get the shot up, who's been riding motorcycles for a long time.
Yeah.
There you are. This isn't new to you, so no. You know the importance of it, and you know how important safety is out there.
100%. Nobody sees you as a rider. You have to take responsibility for your own safety. Very important.
Howard Yegendorf, always appreciate your insight. Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure. Thank you, Michael. Thank you.